every time. So grab a biggie bag today. U.S. price and participation may vary. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Broadcasting from the Superbook.com studio. Superbook Sports, now live. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix.
You have that more memorized than I do.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
9 ahead today. It's going to be a beauty. We'll top out at 84 degrees. Overnight, fair skies and mild, the low 59. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries starting at just $79.99. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games.
There you go.
Now, take the Points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
You're live.
Good Saturday morning to you. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff once again from the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. Loop 101 in McKellips, taking up to 1 o'clock today. Beautiful day out, as you heard Corey McCloskey just say. I think he said beautiful day. Daytime high reaching 84, but it's a great day to head out to the Sportsbook here at Casino, Arizona. Coming out and see us. They've got the NBA playoffs on, Major League Baseball underway. We got games from Detroit and New York City. That's Yankee Stadium. So Comerica Park, Yankee Stadium on the big screens. And, of course, the first game in the 2023 NBA playoffs, the Nets and the Sixers. And then lunch or breakfast or whatever your heart desires.
Let me tell you, Gross,
Tell me.
the co-host of the show with you for a while,
Yep.
it's good to see you have the breakfast sandwich in you because when you showed up, you were a little cranky this morning.
I was.
And I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous heading into the show that it would carry over, but obviously it did not. Your energy is up there, and thanks to the good old people here at the CAZ Sportsbook, that breakfast Sammy cured your crankiness.
Absolutely. It does every Saturday. And I laughed because my Jackson a couple Saturdays ago was like, nah, I'm going to take a break. I'm gonna drink a protein shake and try it. I'm like, come on.
This would probably be my last one. I need to after.
Come on.
I got to crack
one
down.
breakfast sandwich a week is not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you.
Okay.
Hey, if you're out driving around, we appreciate you tuning in. And also, you can watch us on Twitter. Check out our Twitter page, Fox 910 Saturday. Got a live stream going there. How do we look? I don't even look anymore. I used to bring a laptop. I just let you handle the technical aspect.
We are on Twitter and on YouTube.
We're on YouTube as well?
Yeah, YouTube. Take the Points. Look up Take the Points Casino, Arizona, and you'll see us live.
That's amazing. Hey, this is a good time of year, right? We were just talking about it as we were getting ready to go on air. The NBA postseason has begun. We've got an early game going, almost halftime between the Sixers and the Nets playing a very un-Eastern Conference-like game so far today. Lots of points, which is cool to see. But the NBA postseason's underway. The NHL postseason starts on Monday. And like I said, this is the time of year, man. I love this. And, you and I were talking, what's a better Game 7 when you get into the postseason? For my money, and I know, it's always a personal choice, but the NHL tied 3-3 in a Game 7. I don't even care if it's in the opening round. NHL postseason to me is just so much better than the regular season.
You see, for me, I'm going to go A on that one just because I think those NBA, especially the first round Game 7s where it's against a higher seed against a lower seed, potential upset are always fun. But I was talking to my mom actually the other day because she's not a very big NBA fan to begin with. And she's like, Jackson, I don't know if I'm going to watch the NBA playoffs. And you tell me if I'm wrong, Gross. It seems like the first round, it's intense, obviously, because it's the playoffs. I understand that. But there's good defense, but not as much. But when you progress further on, you get closer. Western Conference Finals is the best. I think one of the top 5 sporting events, the conference finals, and then the NBA on top of that. Because then you see people going for loose balls.
Yep.
You see defense, transition offense from end to end. I mean, it's going to be a good first round, but it's going to start picking up here in the second as, we could have a potential of the Suns Nuggets. We could have the Lakers Warriors. We could have the Celtics Sixers, and then the Bucks and the I'm blanking. Who would the Bucks play? The Cavaliers.
Cavaliers or the Knicks, yeah. No, you know what, though? Here's the thing also, Jackson, when you look at the NBA, the things that when you talk to casual fans about the NBA regular season are out, right? There's no load management in the postseason. Nobody's taking a game off. Nobody's taking minutes off. You hear about coaches figuring out how to shrink the bench so they can have the stars out doing what stars do. You've got teams that, they're not playing the back-to-back on the end of a West Coast road trip, right? Everybody's on the same calendar. So when you get into these series, you have the teams ready to go. And then in the NBA, and this is what's so cool about watching this early game between the Sixers and the Nets, typically, and I know it's early in game 1, but what you'll see is these teams get more and more physical as these series go along. And, I just think in both cases, like I said, I'm partial to the NHL, but the NBA in the postseason is so much more attractive to me than the regular season. And, of course, it's a lot better here the last couple of years now that the Suns are back in the postseason, because that was a hell of a stretch that we went through in this town, over 10 years of this team missing the postseason. So we'd get ready to watch the Sixers and the Nets and on the one hand say, gee, I hope the Suns get a good pick in the draft coming up.
Oh my gosh.
That's off the table.
Let me tell you, as an Arizona fan right now, I'm looking forward to 2 things. One, the Suns postseason. Thank God the Suns are in a good position, have a good shot at winning the NBA Finals. 2, the NFL draft. And that's a big 2 because obviously with everything going on, we'll talk about it on the show with Buda Baker. This Cardinals organization is just a disaster. We'll go through what's been going on the past 12 months, but man, if the Suns weren't in the postseason right now, I think I would be curled up in a ball and crying because it's not looking well in Arizona sports right now.
No, there's a lot going on that to your point that
I mean, Buda Baker, and I don't blame him, but
we got to get into that too, right? Because you and I were talking about this, both big Buda Baker fans. But apparently this isn't a new request. It's just a request that surfaced here recently. And the Buda Baker request isn't about anything other than he wants to be the highest paid safety in the NFL.
Which you didn't like.
I understand it, but I would have a better feeling right now if Buda came out and said, just what you just said. It's a disaster here. I'm 27. I want to go to a franchise that's going to win. I don't like all this nonsense, the distractions, whatever. I don't want to be part of a rebuild. That wasn't part of it. The reason for Buda asking for a new deal was because he's not the highest paid safety anymore. When the Cardinals signed him to his contract extension, he was the highest paid safety. That's how this works in the National Football League with these contracts. When you're the highest paid guy, there'll be other guys coming up after you. In a couple years, when your contract's up, you'll be the highest paid safety again if you continue to perform. So that just... And I got to be really careful here because I'm like everybody else that watches the Cardinals as a fan. I love the guy. I love the way he plays. I love the way he approaches. I love the sound bites. I love everything this guy represents on the field. Everything. And off the field. Like, when you see, highlights of, hey, is Kyler in the building doing rehab? Guess who is in the building? There's never a question. Buda's in the building.
Yeah.
When they announced their new coach, who was the first person you saw in the weight room?
Buda Baker.
Right? So, this is not a knock on Buda. It's a knock on the way things work in professional sports.
It's annoying by athletes too, because in the moment he was the highest paid safety.
Yeah.
And then he's not anymore, so now he wants to be the highest paid safety. And I kind of alluded to it's like when you were in elementary school, all right, and you got some recess time, and your teacher says, hey, we got recess for about 25 minutes. We're going to get out early. 25 minutes. You guys all happy with 25 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, because it was more than what it was before. It used to be 20 minutes. And then that following year, the next class comes in, same teacher, says, hey, you guys want 30 minutes? You said, yeah, of course we want 30 minutes. And the other class is like, wait, we didn't get 30 minutes. We got offered 25 minutes. And it was the highest.
Yeah.
And now they get offered higher. So the fact that Buda Baker, I understand there's a lot of disaster going on, and he wants more money, go ahead.
Yep.
But for the Cardinals, like I mentioned a week ago, actually, if they want to change this organization around, change the culture, they need to find those building blocks and keep those guys like the Eagles have, like the Chiefs have, in this organization for years to come. Even if, let's say, Budda Baker's 28, 29, 30, 31, when things start picking up, him and DJ Humphries are your main two guys that are going to lead this locker room, and one of them's going to be gone soon. It's just unfortunate.
Budda Baker's scheduled to make $13 this year and $14.2 on a club option in 2024, and I don't see any scenario in which the Cardinals, if he's still here, don't exercise that option.
So the highest paid safeties right now, Derwin James, $19 million, Minkah Fitzpatrick, $18.2, Jamal Williams, $17.5, and then Harrison Smith, $16, Justin Simmons, $15.
And then Budda's
and
number
then
5.
Budda, $14.75.
Number 6 on that
Which,
list.
out of those, the worst contract's probably Jamal.
Yeah.
Derwin, Minkah, and Harrison have earned it.
Yeah.
Maybe Justin Simmons, but he's been hurt recently. But, I mean, Budda Baker, are you willing to pay him $6 extra million a year? I mean, you've got the cap space. You're not using it. He's your main guy, but...
Yeah, and you got to be careful now that this is public, too, right? Because this is not a good way to run a team under the salary cap. You really have to be careful, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. We're going to spend some more time on the Budda Baker contract situation later on the show. Bo Brock from PHNX Sports joins us in hour number 2. Coming up in a little bit, though, we will visit with Kevin Ray. K-Ray, play-by-play voice of the Phoenix Suns. We mentioned a minute ago, Suns kick things off tomorrow evening from the Footprint Center in downtown Phoenix.
He's been the hottest guy in the Valley. He's been on everything.
Every place. K-Ray is such a great ambassador for the city, such a great ambassador for the team, and always great with his time. We appreciate him agreeing to join us here on our humble little broadcast, coming up at about 11:30. But before we get out of here in our first segment, Jackson, I have to do what I forgot to do in the opening segment 1 week ago, and that's to give Ryan Sirk, our national champion, his EPL pick of the week. And we are Take the Points, and so we cover all the sports. Ryan is on a roll. He's 4-1 in his EPL. Well, technically they were on some sort of break, so we did an MLS game in there. But here's what he's got from Ryan Sirk. Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. I love the names of those teams over there. Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest, over 2.5 goals. He thinks that United will cover this by themselves, winning 3-0. Nottingham Forest hasn't scored against United this season, but United's starting defender just got injured, and his backup has struggled, so there is a possibility for Nottingham Forest to get on the scoreboard there tomorrow morning. So this EPL game tomorrow morning, Ryan Sirk's official play this week, Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. Take the over 2.5 goals. I did it last week, and as our good friend Marco D'Angelo says, I cashed the ticket.
Let's go, Ryan. Atta baby. Well, hey, I don't know what we're going to talk about next segment. There's so much to talk about, but I remember you talked before the show that you have the over-unders of win totals for the NBA and see which ones hit and which ones didn't.
Let's do that. We'll get into some of the totals. We talk a lot about, hey, do you like this number at the beginning of a season? Let's revisit at the end. How did the Suns do against their total? How did some of the other teams do? We'll also take a peek at the Coyotes versus their point prediction at the start of the season. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 9.
Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. Rockin' Manooch.
Brock Purdy here.
It's an arm brace. When you first get in it after surgery, you're in at 90 degrees, and then from there you can start opening it up to help with your range of motion. But yeah, out in public, man, it looks like I got a robotic arm.
Rockin' Manooch, Monday afternoon at 1 on Fox Sports 910.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home.
The fact that you have memorized all the spots is impressive.
Selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard and always online at righttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out righttoyota.com.
Join Rockin' Manooch with
It shows you how much I tune out during breaks. I don't listen.
The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Golfers, tee it up at Van's Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from Callaway. Featuring the
I agree. They should up everybody's pay.
Paradigm woods are engineered with forged carbon to have unparalleled distance and forgiveness. The irons feature a high-strength forged face for increased launch, speed, and spin. A new paradigm in performance. Swing into Van's Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Van's Golf Shops. Unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
Are you looking to get in the best shape of your life and offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Minucci here for the new Coco 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park, located in Southeast Mesa, the premier training facility in the Southwest. The state-of-the-art facility is 25,000 square feet, which combines junior high, high school, and college teams, as well as individual athletes of all ages. And it's the new home for my quarterback training. They have the best team of coaches led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If your son or daughter wants to get bigger, stronger, and faster, then you need to call Coco 5 Performance Center now. Sign up by calling at 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will get you the type of training specific to your sport. That's 480-572-0647, or go online to legacyperformanceaz.com. And for a limited time, mention me, Dan Minucci, and they will give you your first session free on me. Again, that's 480-572-0647, or go to legacyperformanceaz.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup. So check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers, or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
My buddy just sold his car to Carvana. I should look into that. And maybe I can finally afford to buy Jasmine that engagement ring. Let's see. Carvana.com. Sell my car. Enter my license plate or VIN. Answering a few questions. Get my offer. Now that's an offer. I'll definitely be able to afford that ring and finally propose.
What was that?
A proposal from Carvana for my car.
Carvana just proposed in seconds? Didn't take them 6 years.
Sell your car at Carvana.com today and get a real offer in seconds.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Good life.
Welcome back. Bauer, Gross, Groff. Taking up to 1 o'clock from the Sportsbook here at Casino, Arizona. Come on out and see us. Got some baseball on, got some NBA playoff on, the big screens, and lunch is served. Come on out and see us. The CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. All right, fellas, we talked about this going into the break, but, we are a sports gambling show, right? And we talk about what's going to happen in the future, but sometimes it's good to go back and look and see what happened. Learn from the past, something like that. And the win totals from earlier this season for both the NBA and NHL, you can go back and look at it. And how did you do? How did your team do? How did your wagers do against those? Because we, on this show, we'll do that, right? We already talked about the Diamondbacks. Do you like the 75 or 6 games that they're going to win? Or do you like that number? Where did we think the Suns were going to end up? Our good friend Jimmy Shapiro sent out a recap of the NBA a couple of days ago. And the Phoenix Suns And I don't remember, guys. I know we talked about it. But
Wasn't
when the
it
total
like
came out,
55 or something?
52.5
Okay.
was the win total for the prediction for the Suns. If you were going to wager, you had to decide if you liked over or under 52.5. And I think coming off the year that the Suns had before, I think pretty much universally we all would have been playing that
under.
Over.
Oh.
Over. Because what was it, 64 the year before, I think? Anyways, if you did play the over, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know what we would have said. 45 is where the Suns landed with their win total. So you missed it. You missed it
by a bunch,
considerably, considerably. But which is weird too, right? You missed it considerably, but with the late addition and getting ready for the postseason, who cares, right? Because the ultimate prize is an NBA championship. But Jimmy Shapiro in his email reminded us that 12 teams went under their posted totals to start the year. 16 went over. And I think what you saw this year in the NBA, what happens, there's several really, really bad teams. And so even teams that maybe didn't have great years got fat against the Detroit Pistons or the Houston Rockets or the San Antonio Spurs. And maybe
both of those.
Or maybe padded those win totals as they all came in really, really low. Those are your three teams that are odds-on favorite to secure that first pick. 22 wins each for San Antonio and Houston. Yikes. And Detroit with a solid 17 showing on the board. They were at 25.5. So they missed it by a proverbial country mile.
Yeah. Well, you'd think Cade Cunningham, was the number one pick recently, that they've maybe got some talent, and they might be the winners of the Wemby sweepstakes. They and San Antonio, Houston, the way the NBA is all set up, all at 14%, unlike the NHL and MLB where they're weighted quite a bit differently.
I'd love to see him
lottery odds.
I'd love to see him go to Portland. I mean, I'm looking at the odds right now for the lottery. Obviously, the Detroit, San Antonio, Houston have the best odds, but Lillard and Wemby would be kind of a fun sight to see. Or maybe Orlando, they're kind of on the rise, building something special there. But Detroit,
No, he's got to go to Detroit.
100% not to Detroit.
He's got to go to Detroit.
We keep him away from Detroit. As a Bulls fan, I can't support Detroit doing anything well.
The nice thing that you see out of the there's no team in there, because you always hear the conspiracy theorists out there.
Of course,
saying,
the frozen envelope.
If the Knicks were in there, or the Lakers were in there, some big market city, there's nobody in there that has a chance at securing this top spot where they're going to go, the fix is in for Houston, or the fix is in for, to your point, Jackson, Portland.
Well, who knows? Maybe Dallas. They got a 3% chance. They tanked the last couple games.
So we're going to fine you $750,000 for tanking, but then we're going to let you win the draft lot. Okay.
Could you imagine that?
Point
my
taken.
goodness.
Point taken. On the other side,
frozen envelope you.
For the NHL, just a couple numbers I wanted to bring up.
I really don't want to
quick.
talk about the NHL draft lottery odds, though, because it makes me very sad.
The point totals out there at the beginning of the season. The Arizona Coyotes, who were supposed to be in tank mode this year, they missed the memo a little bit. The over-under was set at 65.5 points because they were obviously building for the future. They ended up at 70 points.
Yeah.
So they take the over with the Arizona Coyotes. You cash that ticket. But the one that just blew me away, and, every time I look at the numbers and the stats and everything about this team this year, is the Boston Bruins.
Oh, my. Well, they probably hit the over in December.
The Boston Bruins total was 96.5 points for this year. They ended up at 135.
Oh.
And to your point, definitely, I don't know if it was in December, but it was sometime when it was still cold and snowy elsewhere in the country. The Boston Bruins, 135. They exceeded that point total by a considerable margin.
They passed 100 points at the beginning of March.
Yep.
So then they were just tacking on after that. I mean, and they were already, in terms of the numbers there, they were already dead over at that point in time. But boy, did they have themselves a season. Also, they're in the playoffs now, and you never know what could happen because it's the NHL playoffs, and it's quite potentially the greatest thing in sports. But Boston at 135, lapping the field. The next closest team, 113 with Carolina, by the way. That was the next closest team, was Carolina with 113 in terms of points. Vegas had 111. I'm sorry, New Jersey had 112. Vegas had 111. So did Toronto as well. But, of course, we all know Toronto's just going to lose in the first round.
Toronto will lose in the first round.
That's what they do.
And people will get fired, and that's what happens. But and that's the thing, though. You look at that Eastern Conference in the National Hockey League, and we'll jump into it a little bit later on. Boston at 135.
Sorry, Jackson.
Carolina is a damn good hockey team.
Yeah,
but you look at them and like, well, you finished 20-some points behind the Bruins.
Well, yeah, well,
right?
because everybody would. They also won the division.
We'll jump into the NHL postseason here in a little bit. But
does points mean just goals? Is that what points is?
We'll talk about that during the break as we get Jackson caught up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
On the finer points.
I think he's joking,
Jeez.
folks. I believe
I'm not.
I believe he's just being silly.
We'll talk about that during the break. But we'll step aside here on the other side. NBA postseason front and center. And tomorrow evening from the Footprint Center in downtown Phoenix, the Suns kick it off against the Clippers. And Kevin Ray joins us next to talk about it right here on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's summer playcation package, starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer Playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Right Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself. Located just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at righttoyota.com.
God, you should have had this conversation on air. It's fucking great.
Golf shops and go farther and faster with the new G430 woods and irons from Ping. The Ping G430 woods introduce the next generation of speed with new face technology for longer and more accurate shots. The new Ping G430 irons are designed with Pure Flex technology for faster ball speed and more distance. Swing into Vans Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Vans Golf Shop.
I'm going to turn you into a hockey fan yet, Jack. Before you leave the show, at the end of the year, you're going to be a hockey fan. All city to get you to games at Mullet Arena, and you're like, this is the greatest fucking sport in the world.
If so, head on over to All City Towing.
Not yet, no, but I will.
Careers.
I'm going to take the You're live.
Welcome back. Rolling along on a Saturday morning. Mike Gross, Mike Bauer, Jackson Groff. Thanks for tuning in. And as we mentioned, headed out of the last segment, NBA playoffs underway. We've got the Nets and the Sixers on the big screens here at the Sportsbook at Casino Arizona. Tomorrow evening in downtown Phoenix, though, the local game takes center stage. The Suns, the Clippers, and Kevin Ray, good enough to spend some time with us this morning to talk about it. K-Ray, the pride of Pittsburgh State. K-Ray, how are you today?
Gorillas, baby. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm sorry about that. Every time I talk to you, which isn't very often, I do have to give the Pittsburgh State connection a shout-out because, you know, I love those schools.
Make zero apologies, my guy. I appreciate it, and so do all the Gorillas.
All the Gorillas.
Was it who was the former Cardinal wide receiver? John Brown and our friend Chris Mallory too, right? You represent Gorillas.
Absolutely.
Yeah. John Smokey Brown, Chris Mallory. Yeah, we've got some players.
There we go.
some players.
Hey, Kevin, as we said coming in, you know, the NBA playoffs back, and, of course, the Suns secure that number 4 seed. But how important or how much are the Suns and everybody around this team looking forward to getting this game and the postseason underway after the way last year kind of ended in just such a negative way? It's just kind of been a cloud over this team all regular season. I got to believe just getting the postseason underway is going to be a good thing for this team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, you know, look, call it what it was. The season ended with an absolute thud. Not the way anybody could have or would have imagined that game coming to an end and series coming to an end. But, you know, that's a year removed almost. And you've got a completely retooled team and an opportunity to, you know, you can't change what happened, but you can change what will happen. And that's what they, you know, plan on starting to do tomorrow night at 5:00.
Hey, K-Ray, before we look ahead to this series, I want to take a look back. You and I were hanging out downtown after a game the other day, and I didn't even notice. I didn't know that this had happened, but you had brought Al McCoy joined you guys on the broadcast in that game, in the Spurs game. And for Suns fans looking back, Barkley and Cotton, and I mean, there's so many great names, but to me, Al McCoy is at the top of the list when people think of the Phoenix Suns. Can you just sum up what it's been like to be able to work alongside him, but also what he's meant to Suns fans as he's hanging up the proverbial microphone?
Yeah, look, I mean, Al is generational. I mean, you think about the number of people who live in this state, certainly in the city, and look, for that matter, people who have even moved outside of the state, but grew up listening and watching to Al McCoy. You know, he started out just radio, and then for a lot of years did the simulcast. And it was during those years when the Suns were, you know, a perennial 45 to 55 win team. And, you know, you didn't have social media. You didn't have all the different distractions. And, you know, the biggest thing that we continue to talk about is this is a basketball town and it's a basketball state. The Suns were the first professional franchise here. And because of that, people have, you know, embraced them and held them more firmly than all the other teams just because of the history behind them. And Al has described all of that history. He is the history of the Phoenix Suns. And, you know, he is like a 51-year audiobook, man. And for me, I can tell you that when I first moved to Arizona, way back in 89, 90, I was working for a radio station up in Flagstaff that happened to be one of the affiliates. And I was a sports director up there. And because I was a sports director and we were an affiliate, Al oversaw the broadcast operations for the Suns at that time. And so Al reached out to me to welcome me to Arizona, welcome me as the new sports director. So he was one of my first people that I had communicated with and gave me some of my kind of first impressions of Arizona people. And, I can say that he has been a mentor. He has become a dear friend and a colleague and a guy that I have, looked up to. And look, a big reason why, with all the other play-by-play things out there, listening and watching to Al those first few years, it quickly became apparent to me in my mind is like, this is what I want to do. This is the team that I want to do it for.
Kevin Ray joins us, the voice of the Suns here on Fox Sports 910. And Kevin, let's talk Suns Clippers, big game tomorrow. And obviously in the playoffs, you see some of these teams kind of narrow their rosters down, but the Suns team's got a deep bench, a lot of guys that can do multiple things. In your estimation, do you think the Suns should just keep on going, kind of play, 9, 10 guys, or you think they should shrink the list down and focus more on their starters and switch out the bench, whoever's hot, whoever's feeling it from game to game?
Yeah, I think it goes without saying. Monty had even said, those last few weeks in anticipation and preparation for the playoffs that, he was looking at a 9-man rotation. I don't think that he is going to pivot away from that. Now, barring, how a game unfolds, you can't determine and dictate fouls and matchups, but I would fully expect Monty to try to stay within that, 9, he used the phrase 9.5. But I don't look at him moving away from that. I think we should expect Kevin Durant, to play 40 minutes. I think we should expect Devin Booker to play 40 minutes. Chris Paul, I think 37 to 40 minutes. Same thing for DeAndre Ayton. And then depending on who, if it's Josh Okogie, Josh probably only going to get 40 minutes, but that kind of fifth rotational starter, if you will, probably being in the 25 to 30 minute range. So that doesn't leave a whole lot of minutes for the bench. So those guys that are coming off, the TJ Warrens, the Landry Shamits, the Cam Paynes, is it going to be Busy? Is it going to be Jock? Those guys are going to have about 8 to 12 minutes to make an impact and make their presence felt.
Kevin Ray talking Suns Clippers with us. That series starts tomorrow evening from the Footprint Center, downtown Phoenix. And K-Ray, when you look across this Los Angeles Clippers team, they are not fully healthy, but played well down the stretch to secure that fifth seed. You look at how those teams, it seemed like from 6 to 12 or 5 to 12, they were so bunched up down the stretch. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing for the Clippers, but they drew the Suns. What do you see, and what are the keys to eliminating this Clippers team as the Suns get ready for them tomorrow night?
Yeah, look, I still see a very talented Clippers team despite missing Paul George. Ty Lue is one of the best coaches in the league, so he is a great game strategist. He's a great in-game adjuster. So the Suns will have to be prepared for that. And look, Kawhi Leonard is fully healthy, and Kawhi Leonard, is playing like Kawhi Leonard. Those last 18, 19 games, he was averaging better than 27, 28 points per game, shooting at a high percentage, doing all the Kawhi Leonard things, shooting the three ball at a high clip, shooting better than 50% from the field, and, a guy that gets to the free throw line. So the Suns are going to have to dig in, and I believe be prepared for a physical series. And, the two guys that I think that Suns fans, need to keep a close watch on, and that is Russell Westbrook, because Russ playing a lot more like the Russ of old since coming over to the Clippers in after the buyout, after the just absolute, debacle of a stint there with the Lakers. But Russ is kind of freed up to play like Russ. He can get down a hill. He can put pressure on you. And, the other guy is Norman Powell. Norman Powell's been playing at a high clip since he's been healthy over the last 12, 13 games. So this is not going to be an easy series by any stretch. I know Suns fans, and we talked about best possible matchups. I do believe it is that, but that doesn't suggest that, or doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy series for this team.
All right, K-Ray, so if you look at the little numbers next to the names, the Suns are not the number 1. They are the number 4. But we're sitting here in the Casino Arizona Sportsbook, and we don't look at those little numbers. The numbers we look at are up here on the board, and the Suns are the favorite in the Western Conference. You got the Bucks and the Celtics out of the East in terms of NBA titles, future odds. And then it's Suns, Warriors, Nuggets, Lakers, Grizzlies, and so on and so forth in the West. So that said, K-Ray, if you're taking a look at the West, how do you handicap that? Should the Suns be the favorite to come out of the West?
I mean, the Western Conference has been so tightly contested all season long. Should they be? I suppose that's up for debate. And part of that reason being such a short, period of time, short body of work, having Kevin Durant on their roster. I think you could put the Suns right there. I think that, we'd all be foolish not to tip the cap and look at the Golden State Warriors for all their flaws and warts this season, especially on the road. They still are the defending state champs. They've still got the Splash Brothers. They're going to get Andrew Wiggins back. And I think it's going to take him a few games to get himself ramped up. But you look at them, and, we'd also be, handing a scoop of disrespect at the Denver Nuggets, who have, led the Western Conference since December. So I can't sit here and say they should be. I'm not surprised to some degree that they are in the eyes of some, but I just think it's too close a race to call at this point.
He's Kevin Ray, and he'll be calling that game tomorrow night.
He actually gets to call the games for the first round, right? Is it the first round, K-Ray?
First couple games.
Yes. Yeah, we are quite excited. We are scheduled to call at least the first 4 games. Yeah. So just a reminder, all you fans, so tune in to Valley Sports Arizona, and you can listen to my guy, Jump Shot 8, Eddie Johnson, break down the games like nobody else can. Ann Myers Drysdale is going to join us for game 2. So we are super stoked and excited. Round 1 is all we get, so we are bringing the A game, baby.
Let's go.
There you go.
Is there going to be a Kevin Ray autograph session before too? I mean, I've seen you everywhere. PHNX, you're on Fox Sports 910. I mean, you were the man of Phoenix this week.
We got to make the rounds, We got to remind the people where to go and why you're tuning in.
There we go.
Love it.
Hey, Kevin, great stuff. Appreciate your time. We'll be watching tomorrow evening. Thank you so much.
All right, boys. Thanks for the invite. Have a great weekend.
Kevin Ray.
Before the network comes in and takes over the games, they at least get the first round.
Also, TNT, every time TNT broadcasts it, Bally gets to broadcast it as well. But if it's ESPN, they said no.
Well, that's what happens. After this round is that K-Ray gets to then watch the games as a fan.
Hey, in case you're wondering, the sheets here at the Sportsbook Casino Arizona for tomorrow night's game. Suns are 6.5-point favorites.
All right.
And a point total sits at 225.5. We'll get into that a little bit later on. We'll step aside, take care of some business. More on the other side right here on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. This is The Herd.
Attention listeners.
With Colin Cowherd.
It doesn't feel like it's a long-term fix. It feels a little desperate. It feels like basically you gave Lamar a cool pre-Christmas present to get him back to the negotiating table. But the Ravens are in a tough spot. It's quarterback league and they don't have one. You probably need to work on the marriage. And I think that's Baltimore's issue.
This is The Herd. Monday at 10. Tell your smart speaker to play Fox Sports 910.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Golfers, teed up at Vans Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from TaylorMade. featuring the Stealth 2 Woods and Irons. The new Stealth 2 Woods combines speed and forgiveness to unlock forgiveness. And the new Stealth HD Irons deliver high launch with draw bias to give you the confidence to expect better shots more often. Swing into Vans Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Vans Golf Shops. Unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
Join Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup. So check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino Arizona.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing. Or this one. I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better, unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Thanks again to Kevin Ray. Appreciate him joining us this morning. Don't forget, tomorrow evening, Valley Sports Arizona. Kevin Ray, Eddie Johnson on the call. Hey, checking the scoreboard in opening round NBA playoff action. The 76ers and the Nets, good one. Still time to go in the third period, and the score is 88-79. In the Eastern Conference in a couple weeks, that will be final scores. And they'll say, wow, high-scoring game out of the Eastern Conference, 88-79. And looking at the box score, because we have to do that, right? Mikal Bridges, he's on for 25 points right now.
Why is he going off on the Nets but couldn't score like this all the time on the Suns?
Because
why is that?
There's other players on the Suns that had the ball in their hands, like Devin Booker and Chris
Mikal
Paul.
Bridges has taken
DeAndre
17
Ayton.
shots today.
I wish
there would be weeks that Mikal Bridges wouldn't get 17 shots on the Suns.
Well, I mean, they're making it work with Kevin Durant and Booker. I wish they could have made it work with Bridges and Booker, but I guess the trade is
Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson have scored 40 of the Nets' 79 points so far this afternoon against the Sixers. And looking at the rest of the schedule, before we jump into some of the interesting odds for that game tomorrow evening, the Hawks and the Celtics coming up at 12:30. Then you've got the Knicks and the Cavaliers, which Charles Barkley says is the only series in the Eastern Conference that you really should watch in the opening round. And then the Warriors and the Kings. Yes, sir.
It's funny you mentioned Charles Barkley. So last Saturday, Casey told me that Charles Barkley stops here a lot. Monday show, we're doing Monday show. Boom, walks in Charles Barkley. Comes back out. We're like, hey, you better not have bet on the Lakers. And he said, I put my money where my mouth is. Kings are going to beat the Warriors. And he said, guarantee. He said it on TNT, guarantee, but he said it here as well. So he thinks the Kings are going to beat the Warriors. And he put money here at the CAZ Sportsbook where his mouth was.
That's live reporting. That's good stuff.
It was crazy. He's a big dude.
Jackson Groff reporting. Why wasn't that on social media?
It was. It was.
You put it out?
Yeah, we put it out. Yeah.
What? You sent it to me.
I saw it earlier this week.
It was on at Rock and Manooch.
I got to stop working at
It's
the
on the
day job. Lakers, Grizzlies tomorrow, then the Heat, the Bucks, and then after the Clippers, Suns, you've got the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. All right, Jackson.
Yo.
Tomorrow, give us some interesting, give Bauer and I some interesting odds that you got out there for the game.
Well,
people take this.
People love player props, right?
There we go.
Kind of the biggest. Okay. Well, the Clippers Suns player odds right now, looking at player points, and I'm going to give you guys 3 and which one you think will go over or under. Let's talk Suns over under points. Chris Paul 13.5.
Over.
Sure. That works for me.
Devin Booker, Kevin Durant over 27.5 each.
Oh, both the same number, huh?
Both same number.
I'll take one over and one under, and you can pick which one's over and under.
Yeah, I don't see them both going over. That's interesting. Give me Devin Booker over, Kevin Durant under.
I'll flip that. I'm going to go KD on top. KD over, Book under.
What's DeAndre Ayton at?
DeAndre Ayton is at 15.5 points.
Under.
I was going to say the
I
under.
thought you were going to say
as well.
15 and a half minutes. No.
How about Kawhi 27.5? Westbrook 17.5.
Over, under.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Westbrook's going to – I think both over on those guys. And then that's it. Those are the only 2 players that are going to score.
How about DeAndre Ayton?
Only 2 players scoring.
DeAndre Ayton rebounds over under 10.5.
Under.
The over's at plus 104.
Under.
And what about DeAndre Ayton free throws attempted?
Under.
How about
Under.
Chris Paul 9.5 assists over under?
Over.
Yeah, over.
That's at plus 102.
A lot of assists. A lot of
plus
assists.
102. That might be a good bet for those out there listening. How about 3-pointers? Chris Paul over under 1.5. He's hit that in his last 3 games.
Oh, there you go. It's a way to bring the knowledge right there. He's hit that in his last 3 games. Let's
Marco
go.
would be proud.
Jeez, you're like a Marco protege.
Under.
Yeah. Ooh, the under's at plus 112 for Chris Paul.
Oh, well, then I'll take the over.
Okay, and then how about Devin Booker? Devin Booker, Durant, over under 2.5, and they're both plus odds, plus 130. They're both at 2.5 3-pointers.
Booker over, KD under. KD mid-range game, just going to fill it up all day.
Okay. And those are basically all the player props. There's a bunch of them we won't go through, but obviously coming here at the CAZ Sportsbook, place your money on some player props.
You love player props. I mean, any Phoenix fan now, Arizona fan, flash into their house while they're watching the game. They got the phone or the laptop, and they're seeing, even if the game is well in hand, you want those player props. It's just remarkable the change that sports wagering has had on people staying with games. This year here in Arizona. Hey, real quickly before we leave you this hour, I'll send my apologies out to Russell Westbrook.
1 minute.
I went out on a limb and said, well, now that Russell Westbrook has taken the buyout from the Lakers, gone cross town, technically, and has signed with the Clippers, it's over for the Clippers. They're done. Put a fork in them. They're not going to make the postseason.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
I was so wrong. I think he's averaged 15 and a half points per game since he joined the Clippers. But he's been, as Kevin Ray said, kind of that Russell Westbrook when he first came in the league. He's playing in the system. He's filling his role. And
are you saying he might have matured? Oh, my goodness. No.
How do you mature
How
from
dare
back
you?
in a 5-day period from leaving the Lakers to joining the Clippers? I'll never know. But if that's what we want to call it, that's what he's done. And so I'm sure he's listening right now as he's getting ready for maybe a shoot-around or something like that at the arena. So my apologies to Russell Westbrook. So we'll step aside.
Thanks for
Hour
listening,
number 2 right around the corner on Fox Sports 910.
Thanks for listening, Russ.
Clear.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree man-sized drafts. Plus, Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B every Thursday at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. Get to your favorite Twin Peaks Lodge today.
The right price, the right selection. It's all now at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Stop by today and see why Wright Toyota continues to be Arizona's top Toyota dealership, located just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard and online at WrightToyota.com.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings. And we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering menu online at venezias.com. Or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest, now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
I'm Byron Brown, I'm a lawyer. When it comes to the point, I'll answer your
Have you ever heard of a no-no guarantee? Parker & Sons loves to say no. That might sound bad, but let me tell you what they mean. There will be no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. They have same-day service with no extra fees. No charging for something you don't need. You will always get a reliable tech with honest recommendations. No answering services. There's always a live person to answer your calls, and there will be no Melvins on your job. Saying no can be a good thing. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker & Sons. ROC number 152656.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fried co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, bag boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys, bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of double-stacked JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Monday from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Monday from 10 to 1. We are and here's what you need to know.
1 quarter left between the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers, and Brooklyn has to fear the beard.
Tucker gets to the offensive rebound. Back to James. Baseline right. 3-point shot. It's good. Harden with a second chance at it. Drills a corner 3.
76ers radio network on the call. Harden has 6 3-pointers for a total of 20 points. He's also got 9 assists to go along with it. Joel Embiid, he's got 20 points and 4 rebounds. He did get a technical along with Royce O'Neal of the Nets. They got tangled up and were both teed up. So 1 quarter left. Philadelphia is up 93-81 against the Nets. In Major League Baseball, the Twins are on the scoreboard, but the Yankees are still on top. 4-1 is the score, bottom of the 7th inning. The Tigers have scored, but the Giants are still up. 6-3 is the score, bottom of the 7th. The Pirates and the Cardinals are tied at 2 apiece, bottom of the 3rd. Orioles up on the White Sox 1-0, top of the 4th. I'm Monty Bolaños.
This is the My Guy Referrals Weather Center. Visit myguy.com for 5-star local referrals. Make My Guy your guy.
And to wrap up the afternoon as well, we'll top out in the mid-80s. And for the overnight hours, we'll drop to 59 under fair skies. And then here comes your Sunday and Easter to remember. Sunny skies and very warm, the high 90. For the Fox 10 Weather Expert Time, Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions.
Bauer's impression of me is always top-notch.
So you can make
always
every
has
move
been.
matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Hour number 2. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff coming to you today from the Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. Come on out and see us. We're here till 1 o'clock. Got Eastern Conference playoffs on a couple of the big screens, a lot of Major League Baseball on the big screens, and a great food and drink menu ready for you here at the Sportsbook. And, of course, they've got the crew all ready to go at the window. All your wagering needs, questions that you have, they'll take care of you. If you're good to go and you got cash in hand, head to the self-service kiosk right outside the door here or inside on the wall opposite the counter. So come on out, Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. Spring football games underway around the country. Got 2 on tap here in Arizona. ASU underway. Coach Dillingham expecting a crowd of about 40,000 today at Sun Devil Stadium.
It just started 3 minutes ago.
As the Devils, and shout out to everybody, and I mean everybody, associated with Pat's Run. Another great event. TV channels have it covered. Participants and the crew that puts it on, and then the plan was to have the people hang around after Pat's Run and take in a spring football game, and it's a glorious day here in Arizona.
He expected 40,000. I'm looking right now. I can count with my finger. I think it's around 1, 2, 3, 100 people there. Man, it is empty there in Tempe, and it's funny because it's so sunny out, and most of the bleachers look completely empty, but you can kind of see on the top underneath the cabana or whatever you call it, there's some people under the shade. There is no one at the ASU spring game, which I feel bad for Dillingham. He wanted 40,000 and got 4,000.
40,000 for regular season games, so it might be a little bit of a stretch. But here's what I don't understand, and nobody from either one of these schools is calling me and asking my advice. But if I was making decisions in Tempe or Tucson, why wouldn't you do a night game like they do with March Madness or whatever it's called?
Midnight Madness.
Midnight Madness in basketball. Like, Sun Devil Stadium is a much better facility once the sun goes down.
Yeah.
Have a spring game under the lights.
And also
do a fireworks show afterwards.
Kudos to the grounds crew or all of the people involved that turned Sun Devil Stadium from the finish line of Pat's Run earlier this morning as you cross at the 42-yard line for Pat Tillman's number. So kudos to everybody who turned it and got it ready for spring football. But maybe we could give those people a couple more hours too. You know, just give them some more time to turn it into a football stadium from a finish line at the end of Pat's Run, and then you have it.
And is that? I don't honestly. I can't tell you if this is an original thought. Do you recall? Have they ever done a spring game under the lights that you're aware of?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't usually pay attention to spring games.
Yeah.
So I don't remember that.
Wow, you are a poor alumni.
It's a spring game. Like, great.
I'm sick.
I don't know if you noticed. It's April 15th. Football season doesn't start for like 6 months.
Wildcats get underway at 3:30 down in Tucson. So they're
like 4 months actually.
They're doing a day game as well. As they bring in the Gronkowski brothers. I wonder if they're dropping anything out of a helicopter for them this year. And a couple of, I think I saw a couple of Ring of Honor inductees are going to be the honorary captains for the Wildcats. So spring game's underway.
Bear down.
And I know you looked at the win totals for the Pac-12 just a bit ago. Give us a refresher, Jackson. Where are we at for this Arizona and Arizona State team as we speak? For win totals for the upcoming 2023.
They are both at 5.5 right now. I think Arizona over. I think ASU under. That's just my opinion. I think Arizona's got a really good team. They got a lot of guys coming back. Delora, Cowing, and they got Justin Flo, linebacker from Oregon.
So they've got their non-conference games, NAU, at Mississippi State.
They got UTEP.
And UTEP. See, that's always a barometer for me. Like, if you go 2-1 out of those games, I can see that. But I am not buying this Arizona Wildcat team until they show me something more. You know, this is year 3 of this regime. You got to start winning some games, some meaningful games for me before I go over. So right now,
they won games last year. What do you mean?
I would stay away from that. Meaningful games, I said. They beat Colorado. They beat North Dakota State. They beat ASU.
Those meaningless and quote-unquote meaningless games, they still count for the over-under total, though. Some of them might not count for bowl eligibility, but they still count if you're here at the
If you want me to go to 6, you have to win because it's 5.5. So you got to you need to get me some meaningful wins.
They're going to beat NAU, they're going to beat UTEP, and they're going to beat Mississippi State. There's 3 right there, and then they can beat Colorado and Washington State, and they can beat either one of the UCLA's or Washington
or Arizona State.
Or exactly, ASU. Boom.
They're not beating Mississippi State on the road.
That ain't happening. They have a way better quarterback, way better offense, way better defense than Mississippi State. I get it's SEC, but
I believe there may have to be a lunch bet.
There will be a lunch bet. Let's circle this conversation and come back to it.
This is going to be
a couple weeks.
This is going to be a CAZ Sports Bar breakfast Sammy bet.
Give us the ASU real quick. ASU at 5.5, and I would say the same thing for the Devils. New regime. They're in year not even 1 yet. They're just putting it together.
I will say for the Sun Devils, and this isn't for this year, but I will say there is some breaking news from earlier this morning. Dylan Tapley, a local 4-star 2024 Scottsdale Desert Mountain High School wide receiver, commits to ASU. The first in-state pledge for Kenny Dillingham from Devil's Digest.
Oh, he's talking high school right there.
There we go. I like to hear that.
That's Scottsdale Desert Mountain High School. That sounds fancy.
So they've
Scottsdale and then Desert and Mountain. That sounds really fancy.
Who does ASU have on the non-conference?
So they got
slate?
Southern Utah. That's a win.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State. That's an L.
That's here though.
It's an L. Actually, it might be closer. Oklahoma State. They lost a ton of talent from last year. Fresno State at home, that could be a good game. They lost their quarterback Hainer, who's now going into the NFL. Then they got home against. Wow, they got a lot of home. They got 4 home games in a row.
7 or 8 home games this year.
Jeez, home against USC, L. California, Colorado, Washington. So they could maybe beat California, Colorado. Wazoo, they could maybe win.
I don't know.
It might come down to that last game between ASU and Arizona to see who's going to go over.
Both of them at 5.5. Like right now, if you made me pick who's going over 5.5, Arizona or Arizona State, based on that schedule, I feel better about Arizona State.
Really? I feel better about Arizona.
Yeah, I feel dirty about saying this, but I kind of agree with Jackson.
All right. Well, we'll bring that up.
Between those two over-unders, I would feel better about Arizona going over than Arizona.
What do you feel worse about, agreeing with me or the fact that it's Arizona that you're agreeing with?
I just feel bad. You said bear down, and you weren't talking about the Chicago Bears on this radio show, and you said it and about the team down south. It's awful. It hurts. It
coming up in a little bit, we're going to visit with Bo Brock from PHNX
He's got to get it back on the tracks now. He's like Bowers getting depressed.
I can't. Hey, Buda Baker, apparently some time ago, requested a trade from the Arizona Cardinals.
February, according to reports.
At first, I was like, all right, Buda, put your hand in the ground and make us like you're making a statement. I'm tired of the disaster that this team's turning into. Please trade me to a team that wants to win, and I can go to a team that I can make the playoffs and play for a championship. None of that. That's not why he asked for a trade. He's just mad he's not the highest paid safety in the NFL, which he was 2 years ago.
Also, he shouldn't be the highest paid safety in the NFL. He shouldn't be. I mean, at the point that he signed the contract, good for him. Congratulations. But they actually share representation. I was in the locker room post game last year. I was talking to Derwin James. He jumped on and helped me out with a radio interview for Sirius XM Radio. And I was talking to Derwin because he and Buda had just exchanged jerseys post game. So hey, here's your jersey. I was like, oh man, you guys are. I'm telling Derwin, I'm like, you guys are two of the hardest hitting safeties in the game. And he goes, yeah, we got to stick together. They have the same representation. So. He and Buda have the same representation. Derwin James is now the highest paid safety and probably should be. And Buda Baker at one point is lucky to have one point in time been the highest paid safety. Look, he's a good player, but he's not the best safety in the game.
That's interesting. I didn't know that about they were the same representation. $19 million. Derwin James is in first highest paid safety, followed by Minkah Fitzpatrick at 18.2. Jamal Adams, 17.5. That's not a very good signing for the Seahawks, as we've seen. Harrison Smith, 16. And then Justin Simmons, 15.25. And then Buda Baker at 6.
Justin Thomas would not be a good safety.
Buda Baker under contract next year for $13 million and in 2024 on a club option at $14.2 million. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, on the one hand, and Jackson and I talked about this at the outset, everything that Budda Baker does and represents on the field and as a profile player, the face of the franchise, all of it I love, absolutely love. But I can't agree with this right now. And like I said, I'd feel a hell of a lot better about this if it had nothing to do with money, although I know everything is about money at some point. But if he would have come out and said, this is a disaster, we're not going to win, I don't want to be part of a rebuild, I don't like everything that's going on here, trade me to a contender. I'd feel a lot better if that was the play from Budda Baker right now.
So right now, the top 5 landing spots, Budda Baker, courtesy of CBS.
There's 0 landing spots.
Okay, I'm just speculating. All right, he might get traded, so people out there might want to know where he might end up. Packers, Steelers, Cowboys, Texans, Eagles.
Wow,
And
Eagles would be crazy.
And that CBS Sports put together an article where they pick their guess. Okay, yeah. The best landing spot is whoever's going to give the Cardinals the most in trade value. If they're going to get a Jamal Adams type deal and they're going to get multiple number 1 picks, that's where he's going. He's not going to get that. You're not going to get that in return for Budda Baker, especially now that if you're the Cardinals, leverage is not on your side because you've got a guy who doesn't want to be here who's requested a trade.
Leverage is totally on the Cardinals side because Budda Baker either plays for the Cardinals or he doesn't play. And the clock stops ticking, so he's on his deal. Where's Budda Baker going to go?
I think he's going to get traded, personally. But also, who knows? Because they've been trying to trade D-Hop since January, and we'll talk to Bo Brock here next segment what's going on with D-Hop as well, because no one wants him.
No one wants him with the Cardinals.
Nobody wants exactly
the contract.
Most teams would want him. He has a big contract, and they're asking a lot.
Just a disaster here in Arizona.
We'll step aside. Bo Brock from PHNX Sports joins us next to talk about all of it right here on Fox Sports.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. Rockin' Manooch.
Brock Purdy here.
It's an arm brace. When you first get in it after surgery, you're in at 90 degrees, and then from there you can start opening it up to help with your range of motion. But yeah, out in public, man, it looks like I got a robotic arm.
Rockin' Manooch, Monday afternoon at 1 on Fox Sports 910.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's summer playcation package, starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails in an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree man-sized drafts. Plus, Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B every Thursday at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. Get to your favorite Twin Peaks Lodge today.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings. And we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. You can see our entire catering menu online at Venezias.com, or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest, now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe, here to tell you the biggest thing I've learned about insurance companies over the years, and it's really simple. They don't care about you. That's it. Insurance companies are publicly traded companies who have an obligation to their shareholders to deliver profits. They have teams of investigators, adjusters, and lawyers all working against you from the moment you call them, and they want to pay you as little as possible for your injuries. Hurt in a wreck? Don't be a victim of the insurance companies. Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Join Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup. So check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
In this week's Marketers Report, Patrizio Spagnoletto, Global Chief Marketing Officer Direct-to-Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust.
Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Only iHeartRadio gives you access to all of your favorite radio stations.
It's Elliot in the morning. Rod Ryan Show. Check it in. It's the Woody Show.
All of the once-in-a-lifetime events.
The 2023 iHeartRadio Music Awards.
All of the best free curated playlists.
All the rock for all the people.
All of the great podcasts for
those ready to roll.
Junior from the Wrestling with Freddie podcast.
All of the mind-blowing contests.
$20,000.
Awesome. All of your favorite superstars.
This Pete from Fall Out Boy.
Best of all, it doesn't cost a thing. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Calm down, Grosser. Calm down. You okay? You all right?
Welcome back,
buddy.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Woosah.
Did
You
I-
got fired up about Buda Baker.
Did I piss you off because I named the landing spots? Is that what made you mad or what? For Buda Baker? Or?
Oh, no. No, it's the whole story makes me mad. It just makes me mad. We're at the Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. Come on out and see us.
That doesn't make you mad.
Take you up to 1 o'clock. I already had my breakfast Sammy for the day. Hey, we're going to jump back out to the phones, though. Welcome back to the program. And I'll be honest, didn't think we'd be talking about the Arizona Cardinals today. But, hey, you know, business is business. And our good friend Bo Brock from PHNX Sports joins us. Bo, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm surprised you guys want to talk about Jeff Driscoll getting signed by the Cardinals.
Yeah,
that's news, right?
That's on my list.
Big time signing.
On my
Let's
list.
go.
All right, Bo, here's where I'm at on this thing. And you guys over there, as always, have done a great job getting on top of this story. And but here's where I'm at right now. Buda Baker apparently has asked for a trade. And at first when I heard it, I'm like, good. Buda Baker put his foot down. He wants to be traded to a contender. Doesn't want any part of this disaster here at the Arizona Cardinals. Wants a chance to play for a championship. So give the man his – oh, it's about money. He's just mad he's not paid as the highest safety. No, Buda, that's not what I need to hear from you right now. Am I off base here, Bo? Am I out of line?
No, I think you're on the right track. I mean, I think Buda is just trying to leverage his situation where he's going to be the star player on a bad team, and he's trying to cash in on it. And I don't know if you can kind of say he's wrong for doing so, but it's just going to look ugly, especially when this organization hasn't done anything to kind of get in the good graces of its fan base. I mean, it's just it's really going to be ugly here until they start adding players through the draft, because that's the way they want to build their team from here on forward. So as they clean up the mess from the previous regime in front office, it's going to take a little time. The fan base isn't going to warm up to them until they start drafting and developing these players.
Who's more likely to get traded first, him or D-Hop?
Oh, DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think that they really have any interest in moving off of Buda Baker. I think this is just something that it's Buda, his representation, potentially trying to leverage a deal and, trying to create some leverage because he is under contract for the next 2 seasons. And it's just maybe a Hail Mary of sorts for them to get that deal done. But I don't think the Cardinals have any interest in moving off of him, barring any kind of outrageous offer from another team that would want Buddha services.
Bo Brock joining us, PHNX Cardinals. And Bo, you mentioned Driscoll getting signed by the Arizona Cardinals.
That's the big story.
Been a ton of no names that the Cardinals have signed in free agency. Is there any of the signings that sticks out to you that you like, or maybe someone that's underrated that Cardinals fans don't know about that might make a name for themselves this upcoming season?
I think people are going to like Kazir White, but that's it is tough to kind of dress that one up as the biggest signing of the marquee signing of the offseason. But he's a guy that's going to play some significant snaps for this defense. He's going to kind of lead the charge in the linebacking core, and that's going to be like the type of free agent that they're going to seek out each and every offseason. They're not going to look to break the bank and build their roster that way. And White comes over knowing Gannon's defense from Philadelphia, working alongside Nick Rollis for DC now. And he's a guy that had over 100 tackles. He's versatile, and he's going to be able to kind of help mentor a guy like Zaven Collins, who can take another step in year 3. And I think, Kazir White is somebody that of this class that you're going to see make some big plays for this team in 2023.
Hey, Bo, from a fan perspective, and I know that you guys at PHNX are so close with the fans and kind of the pulse of the fan base, isn't it just depressing that Jackson just asked you a really good question, and it is quite literally just, hey, can you find some hidden gems in the offseason? Like, hey, Bo, can you help us find something positive? And Jackson, that was a good question, but that's where we are right now.
Yeah. It is tough. But it's just your deals with guys that are just going to be placeholders potentially for guys that they draft and develop that take the reins later on in future seasons that they'll hope to kind of sign to extensions later and then fill those holes via free agency if they have to. But you're just the days of, going out there and throwing money at veterans that had, found their way to the free agent market. I think they're kind of over for this franchise. Monty Ossenfort wants to build it in a different way. And that it is depressing, especially when you're trying to create kind of a nest egg for a roster that's going to be handicapped a little bit by a quarterback contract after this year. And it's just what Monty Ossenfort has to do a little dirty work here before they can really start building the roster that they want to in 2024 and beyond.
Talking Arizona Cardinals with Bo Brock. And Bo, you mentioned the draft coming up. A lot of conversation here recently about do the Cardinals trade out of that number 3 spot. I mean, if they stick in number 3 and he's there, you've got what a lot of people are calling a generational talent. Will Anderson, how tempted do you think this team will be to get out of that 3 spot and building on what you just said a moment ago, building a full roster through the draft? Yeah. You need picks to do that. So, if you were handicapping things, do they stay in the 3 spot or do they trade out and acquire more picks?
I think there's an extremely good chance that they trade out. I think that's the plan, and I think that draft day has become the day that Monty Ossenfort can kind of capitalize on that. It seemed like maybe after the Carolina Panthers pulled off the huge deal with the Chicago Bears that was going to happen sooner rather than later. But yeah, Bauer, they set it up to where the pressure was on Monty Ossenfort to get another big deal. And I don't think it's materialized just yet, but he's got, according to Adam Schefter, at least 6 teams are interested in that pick. And it's something I think draft night that Monty Ossenfort or close to it is going to pull the trigger on it and trade down, because as good as Will Anderson is, and I think he's probably the most realistic stick and pick option, they're not just a Will Anderson Jr. away. I mean, if you look at this team, if you added him on the roster tomorrow, are they going to be able to beat the Seahawks? Are they going to be able to contend with the 49ers? No. If they can turn it into some future draft capital, some extra round picks this year and then a potential future first and beyond, that'd be a good kind of way to kickstart this rebuild for Monty Ossenfort and crew.
Bo Brock joining us here on Take the Points, broadcasting live from Casino, Arizona, CAZ Sports Bar as well, and the Casino Arizona Sportsbook. Love it out here, Bo, and I know you guys a lot of times talk about odds and all that, and we really appreciate that because we're sitting here to Sportsbook, and we love that. But I want to ask you about off the field, because right now you've got the Cardinals. There's bad news. It seems like every time I open up Twitter or whatever it is, there's something new that's bad news about the Cardinals. Yesterday it was Budda Baker, but just a couple days ago, you guys are talking about former disgruntled high-level executives who are talking about the owner of the team. How much of a distraction should that, could that be for a new regime that's trying to put a winner on the field with Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenford?
Yeah, I think it is. It's a great question, and it's extreme. I think it's extremely distracting. We talked to Jonathan Gannon earlier this week as they opened up their off-season strength training program, and he was asked several times about the allegations from former employees levied against Michael Bidwell and the organization. And Gannon said he's focused on what he can control and getting this team ready, but it's clearly something that he's asked about. It's something that's going on within the walls of the organization, not necessarily in his office, but it's probably frustrating that these guys, a first-year head coach, a first-year general manager, first-year assistant general manager, young coordinating staff, it's probably tough for them to drown out the noise, even though they're trying to stay as hyper-focused as possible. But it's really crazy how much from the kind of the sins of the previous regime are continuing to kind of surround this organization, even though they're months removed from Steve Keim resigning and Cliff Kingsbury being fired. So it's certainly something that I think these guys are hyper focused, but only people can take so much. It's going to be interesting to see what the NFL decides as far as the arbitration that Terry McDonough is lobbying for, and if they decide to investigate, because then it's going to linger even longer, and then there's the potential, what happens to the organization? Do they face any kind of punishment? Do they face any kind of loss of draft pick if anything else is discovered? But it's a little early to start speculating on that. But I'm sure it's a big time distraction for the entire organization.
And Bo, I want to go back to what you said about the Cardinals trading down, and if they trade down inside, whether that's 6 through 10 or beyond that, is there a prospect or an area of need where you think the Cardinals should attack, and maybe some fans will get excited about, a possible either corner or another edge rusher or tackle, or whatever position you think, if they do trade out of that third spot?
If you're Monty Ossenford, Jackson, when you look at this team, what position group could he say he's comfortable with?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think that this new regime, this new front office is going to be looking at premium positions, though. I mean, to answer your question, I think if they trade down, the top edge rushers, Will Anderson, he's probably off the board if you start to get in the 6, 7 range. If you're looking at trading with the Lions or trading with the Raiders, or if you trade down to 11, the Titans, I think it becomes another tier of picks. But, the premium positions, edge rusher, the defensive line is completely, just empty as far as players that you can rely upon. And then you've got the cornerback position or even an offensive lineman. When you're facing a quarterback contract that's so big like Kyler Murray's, you're going to want to protect your top asset. Maybe you bring on a tackle, even though you've got guys like Beachum and DJ Humphries under contract this season. You're building for the future. So if you see a tackle that you like a Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State, it might be somebody they're interested. But I think you look at those cornerbacks, if I were pressed on, I think they like Christian Gonzalez, and I think they like Devin Witherspoon, depending on, who's available when and if they trade down and who's on the board.
Bo Brott joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Bob Rack, and you can also check out all of their great stuff at PHNX. And Bo, finally, my last question for you is not, and I do want it, maybe I'll text you later, whether or not you're actually calling us from a burner phone or not. But my question,
that was a shot
no.
right there.
I don't know. That's not important. My question is, what's going on with the uniforms? They're debuting them on Thursday. Finally, some good news for Cardinals fans. It's also sad that the only good news recently is the fact that they're debuting uniforms.
And who's going to be wearing those uniforms? Yeah.
I mean, but is there excitement for a uniform upgrade or change? Or is that really the best news we've had this offseason, Bo?
Yeah, I feel like anytime there's bad news that hits the headlines for this team, like the next morning, and Kyle Odegaard, a former team employee who covered the team and continues to do so, it seems like he has another report following bad news. He's got the uniform update, and that seems to be kind of their crutch. But the fan base is really excited. I mean, from our listeners, our viewers, everybody's very excited. Obviously, that excitement gets take it away a little bit because you see, negative headlines come across. Feels like on a daily basis, but yeah, I think 2004, 2005 was the last time they rolled out new uniforms. I think they're extremely outdated. So to get a fresh look, and we don't know if they're going to be up to the expectations of the fan base, but you would hope so. They're going to unveil those, according to Odegaard, on Thursday at the Van Buren in downtown Phoenix. The team isn't officially said this, but they're promoting it as a conversation with Jonathan Gannon about the 23 season on Thursday night, and that's when everybody expects the new uniforms to be unveiled.
Bo Brock joined us talking Arizona Cardinals. Bo, as always, great stuff. We appreciate it, and I'm sure we're going to do it again soon.
Yeah, let's do it closer to draft time. I'd love to talk about some positive news.
There we go. Bo, good stuff. We appreciate it. That's Bo Brock.
Likewise.
Do such a great job covering the Cardinals and all the sports, really, at PHNX Sports. Man, a lot to unpack there. And how about this? Let's take a quick break. We'll come back to it on the other side right here on Fox Sports 910.
Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree man-sized drafts. Plus, Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B every Thursday at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. Get to your favorite Twin Peaks Lodge today.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup, so check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status
yes, of course.
On Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning.
I just pulled out earlier. I'm picking the Oilers.
Everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello.
I got Oilers.
Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your
Oilers came in the final.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do, but not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and online.
And they beat the Coyotes in their 3 games, like by a combined score of like 15-2.
It's time we look at the facts. Lerner and Rowe has helped over 150,000 injured people receive compensation for their injuries. We've recovered billions of dollars, with over $1 billion recovered in the last 5 years alone. We have over 50 attorneys and over 400 legal professionals and their resources to fight for you. The reality is, there's Lerner and Rowe, then there's everybody else. Interact, need a check?
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Join Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Back to Take the Points.
Way too early for me, or else I would do it.
CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
76ers took care of business against the Nets, 121-101. They're up 1-0 in that series.
Despite Bridges and Johnson's best efforts.
And they covered, too.
That's the important part.
Yeah. There you go.
We're here at the Casino Arizona.
We are a sports betting show. I just had to mention that.
Well, speaking of which,
good. Thank you for doing that.
Up next, the Celtics and the Hawks from Boston. And the Celtics
from
are
Boston.
10-point favorites in that one.
Bad.
A lot to unpack from our visit with Bo Brock. And we'll come back to Buda Baker. I'll keep my blood pressure down here.
So we'll just start with Jeff Driscoll.
Let's talk about trading out of the number 3 spot. Because I saw, Jackson, your reaction when you said that, or Bo said that he thought they would get out of that spot
and
acquire
should.
picks.
They absolutely should.
So think about it, Jackson, when you had most recently the 49ers traded up to the number 3 spot to get Trey Lance. The 49ers got 2 additional first-round picks out of that. So Titans sit at number 11.
They got 3 out of that.
If they're interested in trading with the Cardinals, would you take number 11 and then next year's number 1 from the Titans and the 2025 number 1 for the Titans to get that 3rd spot? So
that's one that I would possibly, get, because the Titans I don't think are going to be a good team for the next couple of years. So, yes, you could get a better pick from that and have 2 first-round picks. But for me, it's just a generational talent like Will Anderson Jr. I don't think you pass up on. But part of me, there's so many holes on this team, which I agree with Bo Brock. If you do trade down, and there's a good cornerback room as well, and there's a deep edge rusher, not as good as Will Anderson, but you can get maybe a Tyree Wilson, or you can get, like you mentioned, a Paris Johnson offensive tackle. I wouldn't mind it, but, I wouldn't be shocked. The Cardinals keep ruining everything, so I wouldn't be shocked if they trade out of it.
Well, it was interesting, Bauer. He mentioned the sins of the previous regime. And, he mentioned it with a couple of different things. But, part of that is, poor drafting and poor roster construction. And in the NFL, when you're talking about a 53-man roster, you don't get out from under that in a single offseason. And there was no free agent out there. I understand fans' frustration, but there was no free agent or even couple free agent signings with what cap space they had that was going to make a damn bit of difference with this team next season.
Yeah, and they are, it actually came up during the segment, is that what position would they be happy about right now? What position group are they like, we're good, we're set here? Yeah. Because
quarterback,
but even at quarterback, look at Cardinals fans. Cardinals fans were booing Kyler Murray at the Arizona Coyotes game the other day when he was showing up on the big screen, wearing a great D-backs hat, by the way. But they were booing him because the jury's still out on him. He's got the contract that says he's QB1. He is QB1 on the depth chart, but the jury's still out as to what level of a QB1 he's going to be. And so for the Cardinals, look, to me, there's a variety, and a lot of teams have done this, but there's a variety of different kind of phases you can be in. And the worst phase for any team is in the middle. If you're in the middle and you're not winning, but you're not rebuilding, you're just average, or imagine right now, if the Cardinals win 6 games for the next 3 years because they've got Will Anderson and they've got a really good edge rusher, but they don't have anybody else of value at positions all across the board, then that's That's a terrible place to be. So if you are in a rebuild, and you're in a rebuild, teams do this so often. To me, one of the times that, at least for me, I go back and go, look, the Suns should have traded Steve Nash, should have, with the benefit of hindsight, but they should have traded him years earlier rather than having a banged-up Steve Nash, have them limp into the playoffs every year for a few years there, is own your rebuild. And in order for them to do that, to get potentially better at a couple different positions, and I understand that assets are not players. So Will Anderson, look, and you mentioned what did you say? He's a generational player?
Yes.
Right? I mean, but there's also other slam dunk generational players that have been drafted at that position that haven't worked out. Solomon Thomas a few years ago was the number 3 pick to the 49ers in this division, and he's a bum.
But he also
bust.
didn't have 37.5 tackles at Alabama in an SEC program.
I'm just saying it's like it is a slam dunk. We say that he's a slam dunk, and you're saying he's a generational player. We don't know that.
Yeah.
And you increase your chances to find a impact player. Look, one generational player to me makes the Cardinals better. Multiple solid starters make the Cardinals even better.
ESPN's Mike Clay tweeted out this week that he has the Cardinals at 7.7 wins this season.
7?
Which, to your point,
dead under.
I totally agree with you,
I
though,
will.
Bauer.
Can I go
if
to
you're in the middle like that, it does. You can't get out of your own way over time.
Can I go to the sportsbook right now and bet the under?
He's got the potential win for the Cardinals next year. He's got them, and I'm not going to get in all the details because he put percentage on there. He said win chances: Seahawks at the Rams, home against the Rams, Falcons, Commanders. So he went through it and he put some whatever, and that's fine. Say they win 7, say they win 6, whatever. You can't get out of your own way. Time over time, you got to bottom all the way out. You got to bottom all the way out and rebuild. And if you do it, and I 100% agree with you, Jackson, give me Titans draft picks for the next couple seasons, because no matter what they do, I don't think they're going to be that good either.
Yeah.
And that's how you get there. And that's what you got to do.
And Bauer, I on your point, talking about how important it is to get multiple guys and being able to draft well and have a bunch of contributors at a bunch of positions. Well, let's look at the best team in football last year, the Kansas City Chiefs. They had 6 out of 8 of their draft picks start last year.
Isaiah Pacheco,
all
how you like me now?
Contributes.
Yeah.
So that's someone that they haven't made any real free agency moves this offseason as well, and they continue to draft well. So like you mentioned, Bauer, if the Cardinals can just draft well,
that is
better.
That is the biggest if in the history of sports, is the if a team can draft well, because that's why you pour resources into football ops and baseball ops and scouting and all that, is because if you evaluate the talent right, you aren't in the situation where you're hiring a new coach, where you're hiring a new GM, where you're in that. If you evaluate the talent correctly from the draft and you're able to pick the right players, and you mentioned those Chiefs, the value that the Chiefs got out of their draft picks later in the draft, the impact players they got later, that's where they were winning football games. It's not because they got the number 1 pick.
Let me ask you, Gross, how far down would you trade if you're the Cardinals? Because the only reason why I don't want to trade down is because the Seahawks are at 5, and if they draft Will Anderson and we have to face him twice a year and he's generational all-pro talent, I will never forgive this franchise.
That's the risk you run, right? I mean, you really do, because right on your heels are the Seahawks, and you got DK Metcalf on one side of the ball and Will Anderson on the other for the next 7 to 10 years. That is a disaster. All right, we'll step aside here, come back. We still got to make our picks.
God, gross. You guys got me tense now. I need to start
right? We got to
breathing.
keep going. All right, we'll step aside, come back, wrap up today's show right here on Fox Sports 9.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. With inflation compensation, you can win $1,000. Listen at the top of the hour weekdays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the keyword to enter at foxsports910.com. Sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe. Results matter, so we want to help you win $1,000 powered by Lerner & Rowe Accident Attorneys, where we treat you like family. In a wreck, need a check? Call Lerner & Rowe today at 977-1900.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's Summer Playcation Package. Starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer Playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup, so check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segments.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, #SexyRoofStatus. All of our work using state-of-the-art materials and 5-star workmanship. Our inspections are free. You heard me? Free. Go to state48roofing.com to schedule your free appointment today.
Golfers, tee it up at Vans Golf Shops with the new 2023 Aerojet woods and irons from Cobra Golf. The new Aerojet woods are designed with a unique aerodynamic shape that delivers faster club head speeds for longer drives. And the new Aerojet irons are made with hot face technology, so every strike delivers more distance. Elevate your game by swinging into Vans Golf Shops and get custom fit on the new Cobra woods and irons today. Vans Golf Shops, unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
Join Rockin' Minute with Jimmy D Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 of 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Cream locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
At Lerner & Rowe, we measure our success based on the amount of money we recover for our clients. And we're proud to say that we've collected billions of dollars for them. And no, it didn't take a gazillion years to do it. In the past 5 years alone, Lerner & Rowe has recovered over $1 billion. Millions of dollars recovered every week. We're collecting more money for more people in Arizona than any other law firm. Get the money you deserve. Call Lerner & Rowe today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Right Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself. Located just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at righttoyota.com.
I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call. No BS.
Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. Call 1-800-ANTI-LAWYER.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Cream locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Final segment underway out here at the Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. We're getting ready to step away, but come on out and see them. Great food and drink specials, as well as a fully operational sportsbook for your wagering needs with Major League Baseball going on. You got game 2 of the postseason underway, the Hawks and the Celtics, and the NHL playoffs start up on Monday evening. Trae Young. Speaking of guys, right? Word comes out that, hey, we're going to deal Trae Young, and all of a sudden he starts playing well again. So we'll watch him through this postseason. NBA playoffs underway, but I'm still fired up about our Cardinals conversation. We shouldn't be fired up about the Cardinals in April, for goodness sakes. They haven't messed up the draft yet, so why would we be fired up?
They've messed up everything else.
Goodness gracious.
Jeez. I'm excited to talk NFL draft when that comes up. It's starting to get closer, guys. Let's get excited.
It is coming up closer.
2 weeks away, pretty much. Less than that.
It'll be interesting, though. And Bo Brock and his partner, Johnny Venerable, I mean, you look at the coverage and the comments, and they fully expect the Cardinals to not be selecting at number 3 this year. They haven't come out and said it in so many words, but just the way they're positioning their coverage and what they're talking about, Cardinals won't be picking at number 3 if they're right.
And it's interesting, too. There's been rumors out there that the Texans like Will Anderson and that D'Amico Ryans has been favored to maybe possibly go down that avenue. And if they were to draft Will Anderson at 2, that pick at 3 looks 10 times better with the guy either C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young still on the board.
As of right now, today is the 15th. It's about 12:52. What pick do the Cardinals have in the draft? What pick? Right. Okay. So the Cardinals right now have the number 3rd pick. Let's take a look at the betting odds for the number 3rd pick for the number 3 selection. Top of the list, Anthony Richardson plus 150. Second, C.J. Stroud plus 250. Third, Will Anderson plus 300. By the odds, are the Cardinals picking at 3?
Wow.
If the quarterbacks are the top 2 names in terms of the betting favorites.
What's at 2? What's at 2?
What's at 2 is a bunch of other quarterbacks. It's C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Bryce Young, Tyree Wilson. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud are at 1 as well. So do the Texans go Will Anderson?
Who's playing quarterback for the Texans? Because if there's a roster worse than the Cardinals right now, that would be the Houston Texans.
Davis Mills is the quarterback.
They don't have Jeff Driscoll anymore because he's on the Cardinals now.
Bummer.
Right. I'm just talking your top to bottom rosters.
Yep.
There's not a lot that I could confidently say that about, but the Texans roster is worse than the Cardinals.
Well, there's a guy.
Don't you need a franchise quarterback?
There's a guy coming next year. His name is Caleb Williams. Maybe you tank one more year and you get him. You get Will Anderson this year and you get Caleb Williams next year.
Or do you trade out of the number 2 pick? If you're the Texans, do you trade out of number 2 and make the move for next year?
Or D'Amico Ryans is that defensive guy and says, you know what everybody else has been saying. He is that generational talent, and I want him. I want Will Anderson, which is your position.
I want him.
Or all the talk of the Colts trading up to 3 to get their quarterback, maybe they trade up to 2. In division, probably not going to happen.
I love it.
But
love all this.
A lot of speculation out there. But guys, we got some NBA picks to make for our picks of the week.
We got hoops on. Let's go.
Jackson, what do we got on the list today?
Warriors at Kings, the battle in the Bay Area. Kings are now favored by 1.5. And earlier this week, the Warriors were favored. Over-unders at 237. Light the beam. Give me the Kings tonight beating the Warriors. The Warriors are bad on the road. I like the Kings. Bauer?
That barn, you can't really call it a barn because they don't play hockey there. That arena is unbelievable. They are so hyped. They're also going to lose, and the Warriors are getting points. Give me the Dubs.
I'm going with the Kings. I agree with Jackson. You know what? The Warriors on the road. It's been 20-some years since they've had a playoff game in Sacramento. Crowds jacked. Ticket prices are through the roof.
2 minutes.
Give me the Kings.
Let's go to Sunday's NBA slate. The Lakers at Grizzlies. Grizzlies favored by 3.5 points. Over-under total sits at 228. Give me the Grizzlies at home. They play well at home, and John Morant's starting to get back. We'll see if he's in the starting lineup tomorrow.
You know, they are. I mean, that's what is that? Grind City they call it. That is unbelievable. The atmosphere there in Memphis as well. I'm going to take LeBron. I'm going to take AD in the Lake Show, though. I'm going with the Lakers.
I could have been tempted to take the Lakers if that number was a little bit bigger.
I would love like another point.
Yeah. Like if you're doing it on a sports app somewhere, if we can buy some.
Yeah, you can tease. Yeah,
you can tease a little bit. Yeah. I would take the Lakers at 5.5 maybe, but 3.5 just seems too low. Just like the Kings, they're going to be jacked in Memphis for this game. Give me the Grizz. I don't mind that 3.5.
And the game of the weekend, Clippers at your Phoenix Suns, favored by 6.5 points. Over under total sits at 226. Give me the Suns.
Man, you know, I'm tempted to take the number, and I was looking at the over-under as well. It's just so hard in the first game of the playoffs. Give me the Suns covering the 6.5.
Ditto. Give me the Suns.
And then our NBA title favorites, I'm a Suns guy, but I'm going to jinx myself. I'm going to say Celtics, but I hope the Suns win.
Bucks.
Bauer?
Oh, man. Do I get odds on this? Because I'm taking the Warriors.
There we go. Richie, good job this week. We appreciate you. Thanks to all our guests. We'll see you next Saturday for another edition of the show right here on Fox Sports 910.